Greetings, one and all. It appears that the series between the Washington Capitals and the Toronto Maple Leafs in round one of the 2017 NHL playoffs has caught the attention of the NHL bigwigs, as it was announced yesterday that the Washington Capitals and the Toronto Maple Leafs will be heading outdoors next season as part of the 2018 Coors Light NHL Stadium Series. The game between the two teams will take place on March the 3rd, 2018 at the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland, and will feature one of the best goal scorers of his generation in Alexander Ovechkin, and he's going head-to-head against a rising Arizona superstar in Austin Matthews, along with his young Toronto Maple Leafs team. Now, the playoff series between these two teams that I mentioned earlier went to 6 games, with the Washington Capitals winning the series 4-2. Each game of the series was decided by a 1-goal differential, and there were lots of overtimes, lots of very close games, and it was a very exciting series to watch, I must admit. There was the Washington Capitals team, which their President's Trophy winning, they're top of the league. You had Toronto coming in not the strongest, but they managed to push the Capitals in their series. Now, the Maple Leafs weren't really expected to make the playoffs this year, because they're in their rebuild. They're expected to take a couple more years to maybe hit that mark of the playoffs, but they got there in the second year of their rebuild, which is incredibly impressive, whilst the Capitals, they looked to take home the Stanley Cup, but fell to the Pittsburgh Penguins in round 2 of the playoffs. So the Maple Leafs weren't expected to get there, and they gave the Capitals some very close games, whereas the Capitals, they managed to get rid of the Maple Leafs, but then they lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, this will be the third outdoor game that takes place for both of these teams. The Washington Capitals defeated the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2 in the 2015 NHL Winter Classic, and they also defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-1 in the 2011 NHL Winter Classic. On the flip side, the Toronto Maple Leafs defeated the Detroit Red Wings 3-2 in a shootout in the 2014 NHL Winter Classic, and they won 5-4 in overtime against the Detroit Red Wings once again in the 2017 Centennial Classic right at the beginning of 2017. So two teams that are currently undefeated in outdoor games will be matching up against each other. I think it's going to be quite an interesting game. I'm very excited to see more outdoor games. As I said, I love outdoor games. But only one team, of course, will be able to stay undefeated by the end of this game. Will it be the young Toronto Maple Leafs or the Stanley Cup playoff experienced Washington Capitals? Who knows? I guess we'll find out on March 3rd. Now on to what I think about this game, because we've seen all the facts, we've seen all the important pieces of information. Now it's what I think, because you guys wouldn't be here if you didn't want to know what I thought. I love a good outdoor game as much as the next guy, but I've got to be honest, I don't get why these two teams are matching up in a Stadium Series game. If it were rival teams going at it, then that would be awesome and make complete sense. But two teams that have only one playoff series to contribute towards making a rivalry between the two teams doesn't exactly make these games high stakes, you know? It doesn't really make them as engaging and so crucial as maybe a rivalry game would be. If it was a rivalry game, then whoever wins that game, they get bragging rights until the end of the season, bragging rights until the next time those teams play. And if that's the last time they play for that season, they get bragging rights until the next year or come playoffs. So it's kind of similar to the Rangers and Buffalo Sabres Winter Classic that's taking place next year. There's no real rivalry between the two teams, so the ratings for the TV probably won't be as good as they could be, and the attendance to the game likely won't be as good as it could be as well. I might be wrong about attendance, but I think ratings will be down. I mean, they'll get the Toronto market in there, definitely, but Washington isn't exactly one of the most watched teams out there, are they? I mean, I don't know that exactly, but correct me if I'm wrong. And, I mean, as I said, I am happy to watch outdoor games, as I love outdoor games. But they could have picked the Senators or the Habs to play against the Maple Leafs, or the Rangers to play against the Caps. I know the Rangers are already playing in the Winter Classic, but they've already played Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh have played quite a lot outside. And the Rangers, they have an extensive playoff history with the Capitals these last few years. Those teams actually have a rivalry with each other, so play them against each other. I'm just not sold on these two teams going against each other. But then again, what do I know? I'm just some random British guy on YouTube. And there you have it! What do you think about this game? Is it good, bad, or do you hate outdoor hockey? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!